Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to see the topic accounts of Hiuen Tsang. I hope you all would have known about Hiuen Tsang somewhere while studying the ancient India, right? Okay. In this we are going to see actually who the Hiuen Tsang is, which traveler he is. He is a traveler and he is from China. He is a second Chinese traveler who visited India. And Hiuen Tsang's visit was primarily aimed at acquiring awareness of Buddhism and collecting its religious texts. And he visited India in 632 AD. And the next Chinese traveler who visited India was Hiuen Tsang, right? Okay, fine. Then, it is a picture of Hiuen Tsang. You would have seen this picture in ancient Indian books as well as some of the galleries which consisted of ancient travelers, travelogues and accounts. Okay, and it is actually not a picture, it is a painting. Okay, then this Hiuen Tsang, his travel was between 630 and 644 AD. And he is actually called as a prince of pilgrims and master of the law. He actually mastered the law and he dealt in detail about the various pilgrimage places. He personally visited the pilgrimage places and written accounts on that. Okay, then he was born on 600 AD and died in 664 AD. You all would have read in any standard books, right? Okay. Then he became a monk and he stayed in India for many years. He studied in the University of Nalanda. You all would have heard of Nalanda, right? Nalanda. Yes. He was patronized by King Harsha. And his account is rightly considered as a gazetteer of India because it consists of all the geographical features, administrative features and the social conditions of the India, which was during that 630 AD to 645 AD. During that 15 years or 2 decades, his accounts were very helpful in framing the whole ancient Indian history. Okay, then the Chinese traveler visited Harsha's period during Harsha's period, and when he went back to China, he wrote in detail about the things which he saw during the reign of Harsha, and his book was known as Ki. It means a record of Western countries, and his description has been accepted as the best available source of knowing the social, administrative, and cultural condition of India at that time. However, it is not entirely dependent because his accounts were condemned as to be subjective, and he was praising Harsha, and it is too much subjective to his patronized king, right? Then, at several places, it is confused that he is biased because his description as a means to glorify Buddhism and Harsha is as its follower. As his aim is primarily to visit the pilgrimage places of Buddhism, he himself by virtue supported the religion Buddhism as well as its followers, especially the king Harsha, who patronized Buddhism as well as he patronized this Hiuen Tsang as well. That's why. Okay. And what is that? What is the big thing is that the king Harsha converted to Buddhism because of the preachings of and his distinct belief of Hiuen Tsang. So to consider these things into note, it is considered as the writings of Hiuen Tsang can't be completely dependent because of all these factors. Okay. As he did not get the permission of the Chinese emperor to visit India, he therefore wanted to get away from India by 629, and he crossed the desert of Gopi and visited several places in Central Asia and finally reached Afghanistan. From Afghanistan, he reached again Taxila. Okay. You all know that Taxila, there was a university called Taxila University, right? There also he stayed in India for getting education. Okay, he believed in the educational system of India and the richness of Indian texts. He loved it. Okay, and he nearly stayed for 14 years. Okay, from Taxila, he then migrated to Kashmir and visited almost all the Buddhist pilgrimage places, that the Mathura, Kapilavastu, Kushinagar, Vaishali, Pataliputra, etc. Okay, then later he was after visiting all these places, he was called to the court of Harsha, and Harsha, what he did was he called for a religious assembly. Okay, and Hiuen Tsang presided over that religious assembly, and this Hiuen Tsang participated, and after that left India in 644 through the same route through which he came. Okay, what were all the things described by Hiuen Tsang? That we are going to see next. Okay, Hiuen Tsang described the city life of India. The information we gather from his account is that houses were of varied types and were constructed with wood, bricks, and dung. Dung means cow dung. Okay, that the cow dung which we use. Okay, otherwise called as cow cakes. Some places they call it as cow cakes. Okay, then the city streets were circular and dirty. Many old cities were in ruins, while new cities had grown up. For example, Nalanda and Vallabhi were the centers of Buddhist learning. He described Kannauj as a beautiful city. And this Nalanda and Vallabhi is not only a center for Buddhist learning, but also it is a center for general education. Not only the Buddhist subjects were taught, but other subjects related to Indian culture, Indian heritage, and the martial arts, paintings, and etc. were taught. But he described particularly that place as a Buddhist learning center, which is of a very big controversy. Okay, then he described that Indians used cotton, silk, and wool for their garments, and of various tribes. That he also described the Indians as the lovers of education, literature, and fine arts. Mostly the education was religious and provided only orally, not in written things. That was a culture of Indian education we followed. Only that gurus were giving the education to students, not the holy text. They used to stay with the gurus, and it was considered as a oral education. Then Hiuen Tsang prized the Emperor Harsha and his administration very much. He was too biased to his Harsha king. To elaborate this, I'll give an example that Hiuen Tsang, for example, Harsha, during his Harsha's reign, he lost to the king Pulikesen, but Harsha did not mention it in his accounts. He only prized that Harsha had so and so number of soldiers, so and so number of cavalry, so and so number of horsemen, and he was a very big, extended his empire and so on. But he forgot, or he deliberately did not mention this in his account. We can find this account of defeat of Harsha in the hands of Pulikesen from the inscription of the king Pulikesen too. Okay, this one particular incident will give you a detailed view of how the Hiuen Tsang account is actually account of true history, because it can't be dependable as a whole. Okay, then according to him, Harsha used to spend 3/4 of the state income for religious purpose, and he was too religious. Since his accounts were religious accounts, he only he told that Harsha spent it for only religion. This is of a truly a wrong statement, which can't be dependable. Then the main source of income of the state was land revenue, but which only formed of 1/6 of the produce. How can it be? Because 1/6 of the produce is a very too small that it becomes a main source. There can be other sources as well, okay? Then he wrote that, yes, this point I have said it before, that so and so cavalry horsemen they have. But a perfect devotee of Buddha could have not that much believed in warfare. And how can this can be believed that he maintains so much of army, okay? Then about the economic condition, he gave a list of fruits, agricultural products that are being followed, and he told that Indian pearls and ivory had a very good market all over the world, especially the Western nations, okay? And religious. And about the religion, he told that Brahmanism, Buddhism, and Jainism were popular. Especially, he told many things about many facts about Buddhism, and religious tolerance were also maintained. He told this is his. This is a good thing that was being mentioned by Hiuen Tsang in his accounts. And these are all the symbols in his accounts. Yes. Thank you for your patience for watching this video. Thank you.